Hi, you guys. Welcome to a new episode of Too Much with Shay.
And Becca, hey y'all, how you doing? What it is? What's up? Oh, we in 2026. It's up. That's about to be my new little
I was
thing.
going to say, girl, we've had that intro for like 2 videos in January.
Okay, it's 2026.
Yeah, and it's going to be 2026 for 12 months.
Okay, and guess what? Every month, y'all about to get it.
Okay. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning into this new episode. We appreciate every view, every new subscriber. We are so close to reaching 400 subscribers. The goal is 1,000, but you know, we got to have many goals in between the large goals. So please, you guys, make sure you pause and check if you are subscribed. We appreciate you guys, the likes, the engagements. We love y'all down. If you are new here, welcome. Like we said at the top, I'm Shay, that's Becca, and we talk about all the things: news, sports, culture, social media, trending topics. So if you don't like what we start off with, just, you know, scroll through. It's not scroll through. Just fast forward and find what you like, because as our podcast is called Too Much, we have a whole lot of topics and there is something for everyone. But as always, we kick off things with a rundown of our week. So let's get into our weekly rundown. What's happening? Tell us, Becca, what was happening in your week?
Honestly, I'm trying to think. I feel like this whole week I've just been catching myself saying, like, dag, we only 6 days in. Like, we only 7 days in. We're only 8 days in. Every day I'm like, wow, the year just started. And I just feel like it's like every day is something. And it's not even just like me personally. It's just like in the world, period. I'm just like, and obviously we'll get into some of the stuff when we get into like our news portion of everything. But I'm like, dag, every day it's something. Shayla and I have made it our mission in 2026 to go out more. And so, you know, I said, because I already was going out before, but I wasn't going out like as crazy. But I'm like, this is my first weekend into 2026. I just got off my sickness. I was out on Saturday. I was out on Sunday. And then Shayla and I are about to be out on Saturday again. I'm like, dang. Is this
it seems like the January positivity skipped you.
I mean, I was sick. So there was a lot of
You can be positive and sick.
No, but I've been chilling. Like, it's like it's no judgment or nothing like that. But I'm just like, dang, the year just started. And I'm like, baby, I'm outside. You know, I went
but
out.
This is something that you asked for, no? Because it seems like you like do you want to be outside? The way you're saying it is like, oh my God. I like you.
No, because remember,
intentionally are outside. You set that as a goal and you're completing it.
I didn't say that was a goal. My goal was to slow down this year.
So then why are you making plans to go out? Is what, like, I'm trying to figure out why you're doing, like, what is the reason?
Because old habits are hard to die, like, or kill, or whatever the phrase is. Die. I don't know. Y'all know the phrase. We be trying. But, you know, I don't mind. I'm not complaining. But I'm also just like, dang, Rebecca.
I just want you to do what you want to do. If you don't want to be outside, then it's not like you gotta be.
We're going to be outside.
Okay. So for anyone that's listening or watching, it may seem like she don't want to be outside, but clearly she does want to be outside. And this is a happy thing. Although it comes off as like, oh my God, I'm being dragged outside.
Right. Also, I want to mention, I just feel like making adult friendships is like very interesting because it's like, I feel like it's more complicated than it needs to be, you know? And I don't know. I feel like I have an idea of why it is that way. I just feel like, you know, Shayla and I met in college. As we're in college, we're still developing. So it's like, you know, as your friendships develop, like there's certain things that you see your friends do, like you just like, oh, okay. I'm gonna rock with it. It is what it is. But it's like when you make adult friendships, you start to see some of these attributes that's like, nah, like you're really stuck in your ways. Like I'm remove myself from that. You know, I just feel like because as adults, we're so set in our standards and like we know what we don't like and we know what we accept. It's just like you start looking at other people, you're like, I really don't actually want to be around you.
Yeah, and I also think we have forced obligations when we're younger in the sense of like, you are forced to go to school 8 hours a day, and in there you have, you know what I mean? Like when you're an adult, your only obligation really is to work, and you see the same people all the time, and then you leave, right? So if you don't like none of your coworkers, then it's like, then where I'm gonna meet my friends, right? I think in schools there's after school programs, so you're kind of forced to be social, whereas an adult you really just got to go to work, and that's it, that's all. Like you do have to make it an effort, as we said, although Rebecca made it seem like, oh, I'm going out on Saturday. Those are the only ways that you do build relationships as an adult. You got to go to the, the little, not meet and greets, the, what are they called? The things that I made.
Networking?
Yes, we do have to go to the networking events, despite us not liking it, because as an adult, if you don't, like I said, if you don't like your coworkers, what's the other option? You don't got to be nowhere else, bro. You can stay at home all the time and no one's gonna clock you. In school, if you're not going to school, like there's attendance, child, you got to be there. Even in college, like you got to show up. So I feel that it is harder to make friends as you get older.
It honestly is, and that's not to say like, oh, I don't have enough friends as it is. I have friends, I got acquaintances, girl, I got companions, like I got it, right? But I just feel like when you want to meet those different types of groups of people, like especially me, like I have friends that people are like, Becca, how are you and them friends? I'm like, I don't know, like we just get along. I don't know what it is. Like we have very vastly different interests, but we just get along. And so like I'm the type of person, I always want that. Like I want people from like, that touch all different aspects of me, because I'm a complex individual. There's multiple sides of me, right? I want that, but then I just feel like, I see certain people, like example, I went out to a birthday dinner and I got on the phone with Shayla and my other friends, and I said to them, I was like, I don't want y'all to think that I don't appreciate y'all, because I do. Shayla, do you feel like I appreciate you?
Okay, I do feel appreciated.
Period. And so I appreciate all like my friends, my core group, right? And so when I go out with other people, I start to see certain things that I thought was just normal, because me and my friends automatically do that. So then when I see other people doing certain things, I'm like, especially when it comes to money, I'm like, oh, this isn't a regular thing.
Yeah. Not everybody operates money the same way.
Like, I just feel like with me and my friends, it's automatically an understanding. And when you see other people, you just like, this how y'all move. And that's fine. I'm not clocking nobody check. Do what you gotta do.
Right.
But for me and mine.
Right. We move a certain way. For my week, like Rebecca said, Rebecca did say that we went out on Sunday. Was it Sunday or Saturday? Sunday. But she didn't really specify. We went to an R&B event. They played maybe 3 R&B songs, and that is about it. The event was supposed to be 21 or 25 and over, one of the two, child. And when we first arrived, it gave very much 50 and up. But then the younger people did arrive because, yay, thank God. And every time we go to an event, we really kick things off with photos. One of my New Year's resolutions is to be more active on social media, because, I feel like yes, I want my podcast to grow, but I think individually, Rebecca has always done this. She's very big on like taking photos and posting and all the things. Funny enough, I am a very social person, but I'm like in person social. I'm not posting every move I make. Like that's just not me. I try to. I've been kind of failing, but I did post more photos this week. So make sure y'all follow the Too Much podcast, but also us individually. But y'all gotta go to our podcast page to figure out what our personal accounts are. So anyways, we went to that event. It was pretty dope. I'm like, let me be outside more, because maybe my husband is outside. I deleted all the dating apps, but child, no shade. I think I'm gonna re-download it in a week, because a guy did try to like dance.
Oh, I was telling Amani that story, and Amani was dying because the way this man had his tongue out at Shay,
he had like, remember, this was an R&B event, so people the little flyers said like dress up, and so some of the men really had the little suits on, so he had his little hat with a feather, honey. It was giving truly R&B soul from the 60s, honey. So I'm like, I'm giving you points because you are approaching me, and I feel like that's 2% of men. Most men do not approach me. I don't know what it is. If I give scary, I saw this meme that is like, for the new year, I'm gonna look more approachable, more open. And it was this girl just sitting like with her arms wide open. I'm like, maybe that's what I need to do.
No, but the thing that was funny is like I'm in my phone looking at the photos Shayla
Yeah.
sent me and everything like that. And then I just hear Shayla talking. I'm like, I know Shayla not talking to me when I'm going through photos. And I look and this man is doing the rope to Shayla.
Yes, honey. And the thing that really took me all the way out is the tongue out. Like, I'm not anyways, but shout out to him because we need more men that aren't afraid to go up to women. So shout out to him. I felt bad because I was entertaining him, like hyping him up on the dance, but he wanted me to get up and I said, yeah.
And the thing that was killing it the most is that his friends was in the background just laughing. So me and his one friend made eye contact, bust out laughing. We like, cause I was like, I'm not gonna let Shayla gas him up by himself. So I'm like, with Shayla, I'm like, hey, hey. But then I'm like laughing at the same time because this man that.
Wow. And then there was this other guy that men are just interesting people. And I know we have the same when it comes to women. So then this other guy, remember I told y'all, some of the people seemed like they was 50 and up, which is fine. I mean, if they made the cut, it was this random guy. He had like a surfboard suit on and he just standing like right in the middle, like very inconvenient. You know what I mean? Like there was 2 tables. It was already packed with girls there. And so he just comes in and just randomly plops himself in. And you guys know if you're a girl, you could already feel when a man is just there because he want to see you, right? And so at first we're all looking at each other, like the girls from the other table and us, like, why he in the way? Like another girl was like saying like, hey, excuse me, like I'm trying to sit right here, stand right here. And he literally moved a step. Like others would be like, oh, I'm in the way, let me move. He just moved a step to the right. And then one of the bottle girls was like, oh, he got money. So anyways, that was like a funny little thing. And lastly, to wrap up the weekly rundown, if you guys ever want some very good nachos, check out if you have a Yard House, because Yard House has the best, biggest what was I gonna call it? Nachos.
Chicken nachos.
Yes. I kind of went on like a blank for a moment. But yeah, if you like nachos, go check out to your local Yard House. I had that as a craving. We went that same day, Sunday, and it was great.
Also, I just want to mention, I've made it a point because I was like, I know this is like not like, oh, this makes you more feminine, but when you wear heels more, it makes you more feminine, I guess. That's what the internet be saying. So like, if you know me, I walk in with heels and I walk out with heels, but I don't ask where the heels are in between, right? So I've been doing it more like to wear heels. So when I went out on Saturday, wore heels. And originally when I was walking to the establishment, because Rebecca doesn't like having to look for parking, but you know what, when you love people, you do what you gotta do, right? So I parked like 5-6 minutes away, so I was like, I'm not gonna walk there in heels. So I had walked there in Crocs, and before I got to the place, I put my heels on, right? So when I was leaving, I was like, I'm not about to bend down, take these heels off, and put on some Crocs. So I walked all the way to my car in heels. And if you know me, that is a huge accomplishment. And then when Shayla and I went out, I even drove in heels because I drove to Shayla's house. I took the heels off in the car when I got to Shayla's place because I'm trying to be comfortable. It's my house now, So
now you paying rent. Did I miss the Venmo request, child?
I got so comfortable to the point where I took my skirt off and everything in Shayla.
Mind you, we were supposed to have a business meeting and she pulling up half naked, but that's neither here nor there.
Like that, but whatever. So then we go to the actual event, the R&B event. I had my heels on, boot them and toot them the whole time, walked to the car. I was complaining to Shayla because my feet were killing me, but it's okay. I made it to the car, took off the heels, put my Crocs on and drove home. So I've been doing better at wearing my heels for a longer period of time. And also I'm prepping. Those are the boots I'm going to wear to Mariah. So, I already know what to expect.
Okay, well, as you can see, we took a whole 15 minutes recounting our week. So we hope you guys enjoyed that. Now we are going to move over to our news corner. Unless you were living under a rock, 2 major stories happened this week. And we are going to start off with Nicolás Maduro. Okay, I'm sure you guys have already heard, but if you have not, The U.S. captured Venezuelan president, that's him to the right, Nicolás Maduro, and his wife to the left. I, like Rebecca said, January has been, off rip. It's been a whole lot. We woke up, and if you're in the East Coast, you woke up to the news that the president of Venezuela was captured. And according to reports, they literally broke into his home around like 3 a.m. ish. Him and his wife tried to escape. They tried to go to like a little safe house. It did not. They say, baby, you could try to go to the safe house, but we will capture you. And they very much did capture him. He is now in New York City. And yeah, so let me give you a little breakdown that I have here. So this week, the U.S. captured Venezuelan President Nicolás Maduro and brought him to New York to face federal charges tied to drug trafficking and corruption. Though Maduro has pleaded not guilty, so that is important. The Trump administration says the move was about stopping narcotics and restoring stability. Many people in Venezuela and international observers believe U.S. interests in the country's massive oil reserves played a major role, especially as the U.S. moves to oversee Venezuelan oil operations during a transition period. Reactions on the ground are mixed. So the people in Venezuela are like, what does this mean? I feel like a lot of people, Venezuelan people that are in the US, they was outside, especially in Miami, party, flags out, all the things. But I think it's very important to kind of understand that when you're here, it's pretty easy to celebrate and feel like, oh, this is so great. Nicolás Maduro is out of the country. Everything is great and dandy. But the people that are actually suffering are the ones that are in the country, because unlike y'all that are here celebrating, the people in Venezuela are not doing it, right? They are very much like, even if I'm happy, I really can't be outside, because just because Nicolás Maduro is not in the country doesn't mean that things aren't going to continue to operate as per usual. You know what I mean? So anyways, while some are hopeful for change, others are warning that removing one leader would not automatically end drug trafficking networks that often continue operating without them. The best way I could put this is, if you've ever worked a retail job or a food industry job, your boss, the leaders usually come maybe once every 3 months. The restaurants, the retail stores, they are going to continue to operate whether the boss goes in or not. You know what I mean? So it's like, number one, Trump saying, or the U.S. claiming that the whole point of this is because Nicolás Maduro is trafficking drugs, and because of his operation, a lot of people here in the United States are dying. Listen, okay, let's say that is in fact the fact. What else are you doing next? I feel like ever since he got captured, what has the talk been about how we are going to reduce the drug trafficking? A lot of the talk has been about the oil. And so it's like, okay, you're saying that you did this because of drugs, but I've heard everything about oil and nothing about how we are going to reduce the drug trafficking. And another point that I want to mention, I feel like I didn't really talk about it enough, is that Nicolás Maduro is a dictator, right? So that's also another major point. A lot of people are like, oh, Nicolás Maduro stayed in power when he wasn't supposed to, because Venezuela recently went through an election and this woman was the one that won most of the votes, right? So people were like, okay, well, now that the US captured Nicolás Maduro, now they're gonna actually put into power the lady that supposedly won during the latest election. And Trump is like, well, actually, no, I don't think she has enough support. We're gonna be managing y'all until they feel like they have everything that they needed, right? So the vice president was sworn in as the president, and Trump is like, yeah, she could manage the country, but she has to do what I say. And it's just like the United States continues to insert itself into other countries' situations. And I think overall, yes, I am happy for the people, because living under a dictatorship, I can't even imagine. Like, that cannot be sweet, right? We don't want that for people. We want people to be free. But in that same breath, just because Nicolás Maduro is no longer in the country doesn't equate to freedom. Like, I don't know. Like, it's like, okay, yeah, you captured, but now what are we gonna do to actually make the country better?
And I think also what it is about influence. It's like, yes, he may not be there, but the influence that he has had and the impact that he has had on the country is
Mhm.
still going to be there. So, like, to your point where you're like, if your boss is there that shows up once in a while, you still gonna follow the rules and everything that they set in place because that's already what you know, right? So it's just like I've seen the same type of reactions. Like, I've
Mhm.
seen some people who are celebrating, but again, you live here. And then I've seen other people where, like, people in Venezuela, like they've shown their reaction. It's kind of like they're confused because it's like, what's gonna happen next, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I feel like even when we talk about things that happen here, we always want to make something an issue, but then we put a blanket over it by not solving said issue. So if drugs are this big thing that's like your trigger point, I need to stop this. This is why we're going to do this to this country, because drugs are so, like, detrimental in that country, right? Why? What steps do you have in place? I feel like there's never an actual plan for the problem. It's just that, oh, this is the problem, I did this for the problem. Okay, now
Mhm.
what is next?
Yeah, yeah. I agree. And then also, like, people have been arguing, well, if your major sticking point is the drug trafficking, right? You're saying that people are trafficking drugs from Venezuela to the US, and in turn US citizens are dying. Is like, compared to other countries like Mexico, like Colombia, Venezuela is not the major, drug trafficking country. So it's like, was it really about the drugs? Again, I feel like when you're not from the country, I don't want to be like, oh, I don't have any family members that have been living under a dictatorship in Venezuela, right? So I definitely do not want to minimize this epic moment. Like, wow, the dictator was removed. Yes. But I just hope that, we don't have a reoccurring or thing where it's like the US goes into a country and says, I'm gonna save y'all, and then leaves unexpectedly, takes all your resources, and then leaves you in a worse scenario than you were in the
And
first place. That is my worry.
prime example, Puerto Rico. Like, Puerto Rico has yet. They're still suffering from damages from their, what was it, the power outage?
Hmm.
It's like they're still going through issues. So it's just like the US keeps thinking that they're big brother and they're about to save the world. And it's just like, I never see these solutions. You get what I'm saying? Like, and
Yeah.
it's not even something I just see with Trump. Like, I've seen it with other presidents. It's like, y'all keep want to be big brother, but y'all not doing nothing to help the issue. Y'all not helping the family in any way.
Yeah.
And I also want to mention, because obviously social media is social media, the memes I have seen
Hmm.
when it comes to, like, the fact that they had him in a Nike tag, girl.
I don't think I think maybe this was his own choice, but who knows? That's him when they capture him.
Apparently the sales for Nike techs went up even more. Mind you, we was just having a whole battle on TikTok about Nike techs versus quarter zips. Now, like, everybody was like, if I was Nike, I would profit off of this right now. Like, I'm like, y'all are very unserious.
Yeah, yeah. So that was the major news story that kicked off the week. And as if that was not enough, a couple days passed, and then we learned about another ICE shooting, right? We have
Can I
talked
just
about.
say real quick that today is just the ninth, mind you.
Correct.
Like, we're 9 days in. Like, and all of this has been happening since January 1st. 9 days in.
Yeah, yeah. And then, but I mean, it's like last year, the New Orleans kicked off the year. So it's like, I don't want to say we not new to this, but we really not new to this. We've been living through world historic moments, like, I don't know, child. Ever since college, it really been just crazy, 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 crazy. But anyways, we've talked about US immigration and customs enforcement several times on this podcast. And so the next topic that we're going to talk about, I wish I could say I'm surprised, but I'm not surprised, right? I don't want to minimize the hurt that the family that was impacted has, but it's like the way things are situated right now in America, these things are going to only increase, right? If you are empowering these law enforcement officials, these ICE officials, they literally feel like they are unstoppable. The president is on my side. Every other tweet or message that Trump has is calling any migrant a drug addict. Oh, they're coming from insane asylums. Like all of this rhetoric that the president of the country is spewing. And not only that, Trump is not only talking, he is backing it up with money, which I'll get into when I have my little breakdown. But it's like, law enforcement officials, ICE, and these very tragic stories are going to continue until or unless something changes, right? I remember like to also I don't have this in the news rundown, but it also marked I don't know how many years since the January 6th riot happened, the Capitol riot.
I think 2 or 3.
2 or 3 years ago. And so you would think that Democrats learned from their when they was leaning down, kneeling. You remember?
Oh yeah, when they were doing the moment of silence.
Yes, honey. And then to commemorate the January 6th,
they were singing.
They were singing the what is it? The
God Bless America, I think.
But what is it? That's our national anthem or no? It was like God bless America. And it was just like
it is.
What are y'all doing? Like you would think maybe putting people in jail for what they did would be better. But I guess we'll take the national anthem, child. The Democrats just be pissing me off. But anyways, let's get to the topic. A 37-year-old woman was shot and killed in Minneapolis by a federal ICE agent after dropping off her 6-year-old at school. Okay, so imagine you dropping off your child and you just heading back home, and that leads you to your death. Reports say multiple ICE vehicles surrounded her car, like she already on her home street type vibe, and she tried to get away. An agent fired 3 shots, killing her. She leaves behind 3 children and a wife. In a separate incident in Portland, right? This is like the Portland incident happened a day later after the Minneapolis, or a few days later. Where ICE patrols were involved in another shooting that injured 2 people. So the 37-year-old woman that was killed was in Minneapolis. A few days later, ICE patrols injures 2 other people in Portland. I want to show you the video before I continue. I am going to give you a warning. Some people may find this disturbing. It's a shooting, law enforcement involved, the whole thing. Let's take a look. This is from the New York Times.
On Wednesday, in Minneapolis, a federal agent fatally shot a motorist, 37-year-old Renee Nicole Good. Trump administration officials said these were, quote, defensive shots, fired because the officer was being run over.
And a woman attacked them and those surrounding them and attempted to run them over.
But our analysis of bystander footage, filmed from different angles, appears to show the agent was not in the path of the victim's SUV when he fired 3 shots at close range. Here's how events unfolded. Moments before the shooting, the victim's maroon SUV is stopped in the middle of the street. Multiple unmarked federal vehicles are idling nearby. Secretary Noem alleged the motorist, quote, was blocking the officers in. Bystanders are blowing whistles and yelling at federal agents.
Go home to Texas!
Then, federal vehicles start moving toward the maroon SUV, with sirens and lights blaring. A federal agent films the scene on his phone. The driver rolls forward slightly, turning left, then stops and waves for others to go ahead. 2 agents exit this silver pickup and walk toward the vehicle. Moments later, shots are fired. Let's look at the scene again more closely. This is the agent who shoots the driver. He He walks around the car filming and disappears from view. Other agents pull up and order the driver to exit her vehicle. One of them grabs at the door handle and reaches inside. The SUV reverses, then turns right, apparently attempting to leave. At the same time, the agent filming crosses toward the left of the vehicle and grabs his gun. He opens fire on the motorist and continues shooting as she drives past.
So the reason why I pick this New York Times video is because I think they did a really good job at breaking down moment by moment. Like, this is what happened. This is all the things. Before I continue, I do want to mention this last point. All of these increase in ICE agent shootings and just like accidents come as President Trump approved a massive budget increase for ICE in 2026. According to the Brennan Center, the so-called One Big Beautiful Act allocates more than $170 billion over 4 years for border and interior enforcement, with a goal, right, of deporting 1 million immigrants each year. That figure, right, the $170 billion, is higher than the combined annual budgets of all state and local law enforcement agencies in the United States, right? So Donald Trump is, baby, money is running through. He said, we got to go. We need to find a million people to deport a year, okay? Let's keep in mind, this 37-year-old woman that was shot and killed by ICE agents is very much an American, is a white lady, and she got all her papers. She was born in the United States, right? An ICE agent shot and killed a U.S. citizen. Let us make this clear. I think a lot of people think, you know what I mean? Like, the more you add police and law enforcement, I don't care how many times people try to say that we need more, we need more, we need more. I've seen things pop out with 5 police officers right there. If you are not training these people right, it is only going to fuel the fire. I know people are going to say, well, if she hadn't tried to leave in the car, then none of this would have happened. I feel like when you are a first responder, your first thing should always be to de-escalate. You didn't have to shoot at the window. You could have shot, I don't know, the passenger seat window, something else. Why are you shooting directly at the person, right? Number 2, I just don't understand this whole narrative again. People are so stuck on migrants. They're here, they're taking our jobs, they're doing this. Like, how are people working, impacting your life? Like, I don't get it.
And then they love to say this, like, I have so many different thoughts. So I'm going to start off with, they love to say that, oh, when immigrants are here, they're using our resources. They're on welfare. They're this, they're that, they're this, and that. Right? I think some of y'all really need to understand, like, just ratio. The fact that more white Americans get assistance and are on welfare because they are the majority is the point that people keep missing out on. It's not just immigrants who come here. And also, if you don't have if you don't have a social security number, you're not just getting health insurance. Like, you're not just getting these things. I think people are just, y'all are so fueled by ignorance that y'all refuse to look at things through a common sense point of view. You allow your disdain for someone who came from another country to make a better life for themselves. And yes, are there some who come here and they automatically do the negative things that you guys are saying that they do? Yes. Do they fall under that stereotype? Yes. But that is not all of them. But to put everybody in that box and make it seem like that is what is going on is unfair, one, and disrespectful, two. And the third thing, well, no, second thing, technically, I didn't even know ICE agents carried guns. I'm not even going to hold you. When I found that out, I said, the first thing that I said was like, they carry guns? I didn't know that. I swear. And I just think it's, to your point, I feel like especially like in the space that I work, I hear about police pursuits every single day. Police are not hesitant to do a police pursuit. So if she was trying to drive away, y'all got 17 billion vehicles on the road right behind her. Y'all mean to tell me y'all couldn't chase that one lady? I just don't, like, to your point, like, shoot the tire, do something. Like, I feel like de-escalation is a tactic that not enough people understand and comprehend, especially when you are like in conflict driven situations. As an ICE agent, whenever you go to certain communities, you're automatically going to be talked down to and automatically going to be disrespected because of the intent of why you are there. Like, it's just what is gonna happen. That's literally what's going to happen. But it's like, you should be given the resources and the skills that you need to make sure that you're able to de-escalate situations, because hot button issue in America, immigration. You work for an agency that is solely predicated on removing immigrants out of the United States, especially as of right now. So it's like, what skills are they teaching y'all? They just hiring you off the street?
And also a point that I'm still like, I don't get it. This was a U.S. citizen. Like, what, like, you know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe you guys, I should have researched this before, but it's like, if you're as an ICE agent, your job is to find people that are here illegally. Correct me if I'm wrong. If you stop this person or you think this person is a danger to whatever, don't you first gotta even see if they, like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I think you're just causing more ruckus. Am I gonna sit here and be like, oh, you should just do what law enforcement does? I think even me, that I be trying to be in my P's and Q's and follow every single law, every time I see a police officer, I'm already tense. So I'm not mad at anyone that tries to run away or do anything, because yes, the reality is that every day we wake up to bad news about police officers and ICE agents. And I've seen situations where people literally follow every single rule and the result is still the same. So we need to.
Sorry, I just wanted to touch on that point that you mentioned. Like, when you see a police officer, you're automatically tense. Like, there's already these stereotypes already there. And I know there's going to be some people who want to make that argument. Well, okay, but that's still a police officer. The same way that when you walk around a bunch of Black people, you want to clutch your purse, or you automatically think that, oh, they're ghetto, they're this, they're that. The same prejudice that you have against that group, people can have against people within that field. Because I'm not going to say that group, because you chose that job, right? So like, I think people need to understand, like, oh, like, why are you tense around police if you didn't do nothing? Why are you tense around people of color and other immigrants if they didn't do nothing to you? Because of what you see on the news. So we really gonna clock some tea, take a sip, baby.
Yeah. And also another point, again, after this incident happened, still to this, like today, Trump is saying like, oh, it was self-defense. That the police officer is saying, the self-defense narrative is not new. Usually that's always how it go. Oh, they were fearing for their life. Okay. And they also said that the same police officer allegedly had gotten like run over in a prior police accident situation. So it's like, oh, because he went through that, he felt more, you know what I mean? It's like, oh my, probably like trauma or whatever. But I'm sorry, that has nothing. Huh?
Who cleared him to be back on duty if he got this type of trauma?
Well, to that point, it was like, I don't want to say I don't care. Like, I'm sorry you went through that. No one deserves to get, ran over and, drive through. But the reality is that if you went back on the field as a police officer, that this is something that may happen again, is a part of the job. Like, it is what it is. So again, I know people are going to argue, well, she should have just listened to the police officers, but I've seen countless times where people do that and it still does not end well. And the last point I'll end on is the Trump administration has put so much money into these ICE agents that things are only going to get worse. These people feel empowered. The president, honey, has a quota for me. You know how people, I don't know if this is true or not, but you know how police officers local is like, oh, when it's the end of the month, people be like, oh, we getting more tickets because they got to meet the quota in a sense. Like, President Trump literally put a quota on that. Like, I'm giving you all these billions of dollars. but I need 1 million people deported a year. And the reality is that a lot of people that are being deported, they have no criminal record, which goes in contrast to the whole thing of like, oh, the migrants that are, you know, criminals and they're this and they're that. A lot of the people, not all, but a lot of the people that are being sent back have no criminal records, right? So it's like, as with everything, there's always going to be the bad apple, right? There are going to be the people that do come here and they come with the drugs. Yes. There are the people that do cause a ruckus. Yes. But if you yourself are waking up and are so pressed that migrants are coming here to work very hard jobs and get paid crumbs and they just want to make a better life for themselves, I am so sorry. You need to get checked. And a lot of people that swear that they're so Christian and they're so godly be so anti-immigration, and it's very triggering because it's like, as far as I'm concerned, the God that I believe in wants to help people, right? If someone is in need, oh, of course we could break bread, give people what they need. How you?
And my whole thing is, to that point, like the people who are so godly, this, that, and third. If we really going to sit there and clock something, Jesus would have been considered an immigrant as well. So are we really like, let's really talk about it, but y'all don't want to talk about it.
Because Trump and his whole shebang clang people, they're very much Christians and God and all of that. And it's like, I'm so sorry. You cannot have it both ways. You can't be here. Oh, yeah, we're going to church. And because we're so much God, I'm anti-gay. And because I'm so God, I'm this, I'm that. But then when it comes to migration and all of that, the godly thing kind of disappears. I'm like, but what's going on? But anyways, I know we talked about a very difficult topic, but let's move over to our social corner.
So we talked about a lot of hot and heavy stuff, but I wanted to talk about, you know, Shayla and I are from New Jersey. And, you know, we have a lot of talented people in New Jersey, i.e. Shayla and I. What?
Yes, but I also want to mention that the following person is also a Pattersonian, and I too am from Patterson. That very much matters. Thank you.
Yes. So we're going to be talking about She My Trap Queen, Let Her Hit the Bando. Fetty Wap is out, y'all. But don't let that confuse you, because technically he's out. Technically.
He's not in jail.
Right. He not in the pen. Okay, let's just say that. So Fetty Wap has been released from prison early after serving more than 3 years of a 6-year sentence for drug trafficking charges. The 34-year-old rapper was released on January 8th. And, you know, today's the 9th, so it was yesterday. You know? Right. So he was released from FCI Sandstone, a low security prison in Minnesota, and transferred to a home confinement in Philadelphia. He pleaded guilty in August of 2022 to conspiracy to distribute and possess controlled substances and was sentenced in May of 2023. Following his release, Fetty Wap thanked his friends, his family, fans for their support, and said he plans to focus on community initiatives aimed to helping at-risk youth through education, technology access, and vision care. Okay, not gonna laugh. He also confirmed the news on Instagram with the post reading home. While on home confinement, Fetty Wap remains under federal supervision and faces strict conditions, including mandatory drug testing, limits on financial activity, and a ban on alcohol or non-prescribed substances. He is expected to be fully released from custody oversight on November 8th. So that's why I was saying, like, technically he's free, but not really. With some stipulations, you know, but congratulations to him. Welcome home. I know the music is going to be fire. And you know what's crazy? And I feel like for a majority of stuff that we're going to be talking about, I am the type of person, when I talk about things, certain things happen. And I'm not saying like, oh, like I'm a psychic or nothing like that. It's funny because on Monday, I was just talking about Fetty Wap to my coworkers. I was like, because like, I think last week or something like that, I had saw like a photo of him, and like I'm like, oh, he got mad big, like he got mad buff, like you saw in the photo that I showed. Well, Shayla showed. I'm like, you know, he mad brolic now, like he was in there working. And I was saying to my coworkers, I was like, had I been in prison, I really would have been like, I'd have been bulked up too.
I don't know if I would say he was working, honey. He was definitely eating.
Girl, eating and working out. Do you see them arms? You don't just get them arms by lifting up a bowl of soup. Like, come on, be for real, Shayla. And so my coworker, she was like, yeah, because he got 24/7 access to a gym. And then my coworker was like, and on perimeter trainers or whatever like that. And we were just laughing. And I showed one of my other coworkers, he's like, oh, like he looks healthy or whatever like that. And I was like, yes. And then days later, I found out he's released. I said, wow, did I speak it into existence? I don't know. But welcome home, Fetty.
I will speak in honor of all the lawyers and all the people that put hard work into that. I think they will beg to differ, but we would.
I put it into the atmosphere.
Yeah, thank you for supporting them. I want to say that, like I mentioned off the top, Fetty Wap is from Paterson, New Jersey. I am from Paterson, New Jersey, and so when he was in his like prime, it was so surreal to me because most famous people are not from Paterson, New Jersey. You know, I claim my city down to every single, T dot. But I know a lot of people, we do get a bad rep. It's urban, we are minorities, the shootings, the this. Yes, I'm not going to sit here and lie like we are the most suburban area out there. We're very much not. And so around 2015 in the high school when he was popping, I think the most famous song he has is obviously Trap Queen, which released in 2014. The fact anytime that song came out, it was just like, you know what I mean? Like we was living it, hyping it up. And anytime anyone mentioned Fetty Wap, it was like, oh, did you know he from Paterson? And I know anyone that is from Paterson felt that way because again, we don't have many celebrities that come out of our city. So when we did have that, it was like, oh yeah, baby, if we're gonna take that.
And I just want y'all to understand, like, especially I know if you're not from Jersey, y'all like most people know who Fetty Wap is, but like Fetty Wap was an era. Like when I tell you when the music was coming out, I'm talking about hit to hit to hit. And it's like I used to be obsessed with Fetty Wap, like I used to be obsessed with PNB Rock. Like that's what I'm saying. Like when I say every song he had, I knew it word for word to the point where like even if we're in the club now and they play Fetty Wap, nobody's singing it louder than anybody from Jersey. I tell you that for free.
Yeah. So shout out to him. We hope he stays in trouble. Please don't be like
stays in trouble.
Please don't stay in trouble. Like don't go back to
stays in trouble. That's why I was like, wait, hold up.
Oh, please do not go back in trouble. Follow the rules. Like you, please. The hardest part is already behind you. Let it stay that way. Next on the social corner talk.
I was gonna say the docket.
Huh?
I was gonna say the docket.
Yes, next on the docket, we have Rich Paul. If you don't know who Rich Paul is, he's like LeBron's agent. He's a very big sports agent, and he is dating our girl Adele. We're big Adele fans. We hope you are too. But anyways, he went on a podcast recently and he was asked how he got Adele. And his response, I think, was super funny as a girl that is a part of the short community. But I feel like as men, they don't get the same love. The short kings, they be fighting. And so Fat Joe was kind of like, we'll play the clip and listen to what Rich Paul has to say.
Your response is always the little guys, right? Because coming from Fat Joe, you're a little guy, right? And so when I go, yeah, that was kind of proud.
Yeah, so
That was a flag. That was flag worthy. That was definitely flag.
But you're sharp though, Joe.
I'm on point with it. I caught myself right now.
Yeah,
that goes for being sharp. That's a little bit better, right? Like I caught it.
Yeah.
But your girlfriend, wife, what?
You talking about Adele?
Yes.
Oh.
So what I'm saying is always little guys like you, man. Like I sat here, I'm looking at fucking Jermaine Dupri. Jermaine Dupri had Janet Jackson up. What gives you guys the courage to walk onto a fucking icon beauty queen and be like, yeah, babe, what's up? Want to fuck with a real one? Yo, Yo, what's I'm looking at you. I said, damn. Yes, man. You guys. Yo.
Well,
It's crazy. Yo. Yeah, I'm looking. That's the Jermaine Dupri. You about 5'2" and shit. Some change. That's the yo. Some change. That man went at Janet Jackson. He said, yo, I'm Jermaine Dupri. The confidence got to be at an all-time high, huh?
well, you know, we don't really do the choosing. You get chose.
Fuck your shit.
So
That's that shit.
that's
I like that.
I was on mute, child. So you heard it there. He said you don't really get to choose. You get chosen. And I'm like, girl, let me find out Adele took the first step. I feel like that is very much not true. But shout out to him the way he approached it. You could tell he really was not trying to speak on it, but they did a very good job of like laughing and like kind of like squeezing it out of him in a sense. So to anybody, any men out there that are short, listen. When you got it, you got it. Period.
Yo, as a 5'9" stallion, let me go get me a short king.
Baby, what if a Rich Paul? Because Rich Paul is Rich Paul. If you don't know about sports and anything, like maybe it don't make sense to you, but he's a very big sports agent. You know what I mean? Like we're not talking about just any regular
We're
person.
talking about like the sports agent for LeBron James. Like that.
Correct.
If that don't tell you enough, that tell you enough.
So what if someone is short? Rebecca is very adamant, like she's not trying to date anyone shorter than her. But what if someone of Rich Paul's caliber try to hit on you, but you know he's short?
I don't know. I think about that sometimes because, like, you know, Shayla and I kind of go through this back and forth. Shayla, you're like what, 5'3", 5'4", 5'2"?
5'3", 3.
5'3", right? And I'm 5'9", right? So I think y'all need to understand, like, I am tall, and then when I wear heels, I'm like, and I think it's more of a me thing because, you know, when you are a short king, you know, you are going to be, some of them are a little insecure, but if you're not the insecure type, you're automatically going to be like, you know, comfortable with who you are. I think it would be a me thing. Like it would be something I have to deal with internally. Like, yo, like we look off.
Yeah, but I also think that when the man is right because our girl Coco Jones, he's not short, but it's just Coco Jones is tall. I'm blanking
They're
on
the
his
same
name.
height, basically.
But when she wears heels, it's not the same height.
Girl, let me look. Donovan Mitchell.
Donovan Mitchell is engaged to Coco Jones, honey. And also like Meg Thee Stallion and Klay Thompson.
He's 6'2".
Oh, but how tall is Coco Jones?
I'm about to look up Coco Jones.
I don't think she's 6'2". She definitely
5'10".
Okay, but like again, with heels, it looks differently. So I think, ladies, listen, if you find the right man and he just a couple notches shorter, it might be time to give it a chance. As Rich Paul said, baby, you don't do the chosen. You don't do the choosing. You get chose, honey. On to the next trending topic, child. Ashley Tisdale. And if you don't know who Ashley Tisdale is,
Sharpay.
Yeah, Sharpay from High School Musical. And if you don't know, if you still don't get it, then maybe just scroll past this.
Maddie from Zack and Cody.
Yeah, but maybe like if the age range is not it, they don't get it. But anyways, the Disney Channel stars stirred a ruckus this week. Okay, Ashley Tisdale dropped a article on The Cut. It's like a magazine. And in it, she was discussing, or she opened up about a toxic mom group and why she exited that mom group. Rebecca had a whole cute little breakdown, so I'll let her read that.
Oh, thank you. Okay. All right. So Ashley Tisdale, but her real name is, her married name is Ashley French. So when you see the cover, you're gonna be like, who the heck is Ashley French? That's her married last name. So, but we know her as Ashley Tisdale or Sharpay. Okay. Yes. So Ashley Tisdale revealed she stepped away from the celebrity mom group after experiencing what she described as toxic and mean girl behavior. In an essay for The Cut, the actress shared that she often felt excluded from hangouts, left out of group chats, and emotionally isolated, comparing the dynamic to high school cliques. Although she said she didn't view the women as bad people overall, she decided to cut ties once the friendship no longer felt healthy to her. So while Tisdale did not mention any names, fans speculated a group including Hilary Duff, Megan Trainor, and Mandy Moore, noting she no longer follows Duff or Moore on Instagram. A representative for Ashley Tisdale denied the essay was about those specific celebrities. And I also just want to mention the situation kind of like escalated when Hilary Duff's husband, Matthew Coma, mocked the essay on Instagram, posting a parody image and criticized what he called as self-centered behavior. His response sparked online debate, with many comparing the drama to early 2000s celebrity feuds. I want to show, did you show the cover yet or no? No? Oh, okay. So this was the cover basically, where she, like in the essay where she talked about it. And I think for me, it kind of goes back to what I talked about earlier in the show when I said like making adult friendships is very difficult, right? And if you remember in a few episodes ago where I talked about how I went to a Friendsgiving with a bunch of people I never met before, and everything was going cool, calm, and collected. And then towards the end of the night, I start realizing why I don't like to be around a lot of females, because it could get very catty and feel like high school. And some people don't outgrow that behavior. So it's just like, when I saw this, like, honestly, if it wasn't for Shayla, I didn't even know about this. So it wasn't until I was like reading into it, I'm like, I get it though. Like, it, like certain things.
Yeah, my whole yeah. I want to read like a few excerpts. One is from like the original The Cut piece she did. I do want to mention, I feel like Ashley Tisdale, like she might have had some sort of partnership with The Cut. She like drops, I've seen several articles written by her on The Cut. And then another one was from a response after all the backlash, I guess you could say, from it. So this first one says, this is Ashley Tisdale writing. This is her after she, let me give you a background. This is her after she gave birth to her child, right? This is why she joined the mom group, because she felt like, once you have a child, you kind of want to have more mom friends because you can talk to them about things that they can actually relate to. So this is it. It says, maybe we'd be able to share our secrets to success. By the time we started getting together for play dates and got the group chat going, I was certain that I'd found my village. But over time, I began to wonder whether that was really true. I remember being left out of a couple of group hangs, and I knew about them because Instagram made sure it fed me every single photo and Instagram story. Another time at one of the mom's dinner parties, I realized where I sat with her, which was at the end of the table, far from the rest of the women. I was starting to feel frozen out of the group, noticing every way that they seemed to exclude me. At first, I tried not to take things personally. It's not like people aren't allowed to get together without me. And maybe there were perfectly good reasons that I hadn't been invited. We were all busy. Life was hectic. I told myself it was all in my head and it wasn't a big deal. A second excerpt I want to read. So that's exactly what I texted to the group after being left out from yet another group hang. Quote, this is Ashley Tisdale texting a group chat. This is too high school for me, and I don't want to take part in it anymore. It didn't exactly go over well. Some of the others tried to smooth things over. One sent flowers, then ignored me when I thanked her for them. Another tried to convince me that everyone assumed I'd been invited to gatherings and I just hadn't shown up. Then why didn't anyone ever ask where I was? I wondered. To be clear, I have never considered the moms to be bad people. In quotes, maybe one. That's shady. But I do think one group dynamic stopped being healthy and positive for me anyway. So when I read this, I do agree. It really gave high school drama, like the typical Sharpay, like what are the odds? You know what I mean? Like I thought I left that side of me way over there. And now I'm a mom and I wanted a new lifestyle. I don't understand why this caused a ruckus. I think maybe when you are a celebrity and you have money, people expect you to stay shut and not mention these types of things because, let's be honest, probably the mommy group that she was a part of was not made of regular people, and it was involving these high celebrities. Maybe it wasn't Hilary Duff, right? Because Hilary Duff was one of the alleged people of this mom group. Another person was what's you
Megan
had the
Trainor.
Megan Trainor, which Megan Trainor dropped a little TikTok trying to be shady, like, oh, it kind of gave like, oh, you just learned about this mom group on social media.
But I've heard things about Meghan Trainor. Like I remember a while ago, like a story time from one of her sisters had popped up on my timeline, and her sister was like a legend. Like she's not as nice as y'all think that she is, and I was just like, that's tea,
Right. But my whole thing is, of course, with every story, there's three sides to the story. Ashley's side, the toxic mom group side, and the truth. But if I'm reading this, it's like if the shoe fits, wear it. To be honest,
Girl,
if this is Ashley's truth, I'm not gonna lie. Me at this age with no kids, I do be mad when my friends go out and I never heard about it. So imagine now if it's a group, right? And everybody in this group understands like we want our kids to be together. The whole point of this is to create a community. And then you keeping me out of the community, or when I show up to the events, I'm being put in the last chair. Yes, it's my truth, and I'm gonna write about an article about it. And if you feel any type of way about it, then it's like, and it seems that she was honest with it. She texted in the group chat how she felt. So it's like, what's the problem?
And my whole thing is, to your point, like if you went to a store, you asked for cashmere, I'm gonna bring you cashmere and you better try it on. Like, I don't understand what you mad at. Like, to me, I just feel like everyone has been in those type of circumstances when they've been in like friendship groups, and you start to feel like you're being excluded. And it's something like, I'm not saying it's the way that certain groups go about it is definitely like aim for pause, but you know, it's also something natural. There's certain people that are automatically going to get along more than other people. It's like Shayla and I have been in friendship groups where like me and Shayla are always going to seem like the closest too, because that's just what it is. Like it's just certain personality types get along and others don't, and that is okay. It is natural. We're human. You're going to like people more than others. I don't like every one of my coworkers. I exclude coworkers from certain things. And Shayla tells me it's not fair, but I don't care because I don't like them. So I'm not going to pretend. So it's just like.
And the other point that when I read this, it literally gave high school 101, and it was very much like, Jesus, I guess when you get older, things don't change. They're very much the same. It's the same issues, because I'm reading this and it's like, I've been there. So I just don't understand how this causes a ruckus. I think because it tends to give, well, who are the celebrities that were involved in this mom group? It's very much the people want the tea. I don't see anything like she's not creating something new. We've all been in a situation like that where it's like you pull up on Instagram and you're like, oh, why wasn't I invited to this event?
I didn't even know about this. Right.
Exactly. Anyways, comment down below how you would feel if in general, I feel like anyone could relate to this. Did Ashley Tisdale do something wrong by talking about why she left her toxic mom group? That's her truth. It's an article written by her. If you don't feel that way, or if you saw things differently and you were part of the mom group, then that's fine. She ain't name drop. And I think the celebrities getting involved, like Hillary Duff's husband doing that little meme, is like, well, now you're including yourself. So now I am going to think that Hillary Duff was in the group.
Right. Everybody was speculating, and now you basically confirm.
So who fought that?
Why I said, like, this is why I said making friends as adults is very tricky, because there's going to be certain attributes you see in certain people that you're like, I don't align with. And then there's others you're going to be like, oh, like they're cool. But when you do have those friends that you have grown up with, it's like, okay, like I've seen you through these attributes. I've grown up, like I know how to deal with you. Right. If you're someone I don't know, I don't got to deal with it. Like, that's just it. And especially like, I know some people are like, oh, doesn't she have her own friends? I have friends who are mothers, and there's going to be certain things that I automatically don't understand, or I don't get, or our schedules are going to be completely different. Your schedule is predicated around your child. Mine is predicated around me. So you can't be invited to everything. So it's like, if you are in a mom group where everybody kind of has similar schedules and has an understanding already of what you're going through, why can't you try and be a part of that group? Because I saw somebody say, oh, so she don't got friends. What are you talking about?
Anyways, some people were like, oh, it's giving real sharp hate, but I don't think she said anything problematic in that essay. Like,
y'all would hate to hear what comes out of my mouth in real life. Like, honestly,
if anything, it was just more relatable than anything. It was like, oh, girl, been there, done that. But then the celebrities that clearly are involved, I know I sound like a broken record, but clearly Autumn Girls was involved in that mom group, and the shoe fit. And so that's why spoke out, whether directly or indirectly. It's like,
y'all did that. Y'all did that. Like,
Anyways, let's move on to the next social trending topic.
Yes, so we are going to be talking. This situation is kind of old, but
Yeah,
it's
but
interesting.
like, imagine we want to hear what would Becca and Shay do.
Right. So a Georgia hairstylist, Zameko Smith, is facing backlash after a video went viral showing him turning away Stephanie Dotson, a mother of 7 who arrived at her hair appointment with 6 of her children. Smith, who runs a home salon, says that he enforces a strict no kids, no extra guest policy due to the safety and liability concerns, explaining that his space couldn't safely accommodate multiple unsupervised children. He noted he may have allowed 1, but 6 was too many. Dotson claims that she was not informed of the policy beforehand and believes the footage was used to embarrass her. She questioned why she would have brought her children if she knew about the rule, while Smith says he gave her time to find childcare and still was willing to do her hair. Dotson maintains that she felt disrespected. The incident has sparked online debate about professionalism, communication, and enforcing policies in home-based businesses. I also want to mention really quickly, if people are like, because some people might not understand why he even posted the ring footage. That's like one of the things that he does. Like, he shows his clients before, like on the Ring doorbell, and then he'll show them afterwards. So that's something that he's done. It's not just to Stephanie that he did this. He's done that with multiple of his clients.
So when you book with him, you probably, as anyone, you check their social media and you know that this is what happened.
Exactly. And I want to show you guys the video really quickly of the mom with the kid.
I'm sorry, I had to bring my baby. They won't say I don't have nobody to watch them, and I had to get on the bus.
You're part of my policy.
I didn't know that. This one said I got on the bus.
I understand, but I don't allow kids while I'm doing hair around. Period. It's just you. And that's it.
So I'm saying, what I'm supposed to do? Cause
I mean, I don't know that. That's not my problem. I just supposed to do the hair. That's all I'm supposed to do.
The empath in me feels so bad. And this is why, child, I really couldn't do it, because I'd be like, all right, come in. Because I would feel so bad. But as a business owner, you have to have your, your non-negotiables. I don't take kids. And also, I just feel like it was common knowledge. Growing up, I would go to the salon. They might let 1 slide. But 6 is a whole lot, and I understand it. Life happens, circumstances. You didn't have somebody to leave them with. You don't have any support. Like, I understand it, and it is very unfortunate. But the reality of the matter is that bringing 6 kids to any establishment is a whole lot, and you cannot get mad if someone, you know what I mean, unless it's like obviously a doctor, like a life-threatening situation, a hospital, but like a beauty appointment, I get it.
I'm sorry, I'm not bringing 6 kids to not a singular thing. And I saw some people sitting there talk about oh, well, that's unprofessional for him. Like, the kids could have just sat there. The kids was outside already being rambunctious. I can't imagine what y'all would have been doing up in my house. I'm sorry. And I get it. Shayla's empathetic. Me, I'm selectively, I really got to feel a little something for me to really care. I do not care. You and your 6 kids going to have to hop back on that bus or take bus 11 and get back home, because I am so sorry to you. Absolutely not. I am not about to be babysitter and be a hairstylist at the same time. And I know that's terrible to say, but at the end of the day, you also have to be realistic. You do not have 1 kid. You have 6 kids, actually 7. One of them just wasn't with you. Right. And it's just like, you came there with 6 kids. Where in your right mind do you think sitting in an appointment with 6 kids was going to be conducive to any kind of service?
And the kids are not going to sit down. You might get, like, if it's 7 years old and up, they might stay on an iPad, but we need to be all the way realistic. These kids was not going to be sitting down. And so it's like, it is going to be a distraction. And now if I mess up on your hair, then you also going to be mad. So it's like, no, I know the parameters that I want to work under. And so in order for me to execute to my, excellence, or to how I want to do my job, I need peace. And bringing 6 kids is just not a part of the program. It is like, it sucks, But I think that's like an unspoken rule. You're not bringing 6 kids to any beauty salon, period.
And I understand, like, she's entitled to feel how she feels. You
Yeah.
felt disrespected. That's fine. I would have felt disrespected for you to even think out of your rabbit behind mind that you was going to bring 6 kids to an appointment with me. And mind you, this is your home also. This is your home. You have things that people can break. Kids touch. And I don't care what nobody says. They sit here talking about stuff. Oh, well, like they would listen to their mother. I don't care about none of that. I don't care about that. And also, my last point, when you know your situation, you automatically need to figure out ways to accommodate to that. It's all about priorities. And the fact that you have 6 kids, your priority, and you have no one to watch them, your priority is not a hair appointment. Your priority is to be at home with your kids. If you know that you're going to have to bring your kids to certain things like that, you got to learn certain skills to do on your own. You could have brushed your hair back and did a slick back.
Well, we don't want it to come off as if you have 6 kids, you can't go to the beauty salon. Like,
no, I'm not
yes,
saying
you
that,
could have
if you have no child care services, no one there to watch your kid, and your only option is to bring the kids, your priority is to be with your kids.
You can get your hair done. You just got to figure out or look for beauty places that can accommodate you and your 6 children. Like, you know what I mean? You can go to an establishment, but you got to figure out the best times. Maybe you got to go real late at night or during, when the kids are in school. You got to figure out how to navigate through whatever your circumstances are.
Priorities.
The next thing before we move over to our social corner that I did see trending a lot is that Bruno Mars is announced his tour, the romantic tour, and he has a whole lot of people that are gonna be going or touring with him. It's Leon Thomas, Ray is like, I would like a ring, I would like a ring, I would where's my husband? Where the hell is my husband? And what's the other one? Huh?
He could have kept her.
No, I will take her. Thank you very much. But you're not going to the tour, so really.
Who said that?
You're going to the tour?
I was just talking to Amani about this. I said I will go.
Okay. And I'm blanking out on the third. Monet. Is it Victoria Monet?
You're lying.
Let me see. Oh my God. Bruno Mars.
Because, as someone who's a Bruno Mars fan, like, yes, I love Grenade. Like, I love his other songs, but Versace on the Floor, y'all gonna pick me up off the floor. I love that song down. When I do my Valentine's photo shoot, I think that might be the song. I don't got nothing Versace, but the idea is there.
Well, keep talking because I'm trying to find the headliners.
It's crazy. I said to myself, I was like, after the
yes, I'm so sorry. It's featuring Anderson Paak. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing all these people, child. Ray, Leon Thomas, and Victoria Monet. So he has a whole lot of people that
we gotta go. We gotta go.
He has a whole lot of people that will be going with him on tour. Shout out to him because we've gone to concerts where it's just you. And don't get me wrong, Bruno Mars has enough songs to like carry him. Like he's a big name, just himself. And so for him to be bringing all of these major artists as well was like, okay, child, you got a little thing brewing. Cardi B, who you got going with you, sis? I know you're talking about you over budget. So yeah, shout out to him.
Bruno Mars will be seeing us. So I just need to figure out the locations because I didn't ask about locations. Where is
they're in Jersey? Yeah, 2 days in Jersey.
Shayla, all right. Where?
In Jersey. I don't know specifically.
We drive. It's okay. We there. But anyway, let us get into our sports corner. You got 24 seconds and it's starting right now. Okay, shot clock. We are in our sports corner. Dribble it, pass it, shoot that basket. Okay.
Girl, please. We was like real up here with that cute little graphic you made. And now why would you say what? Anyway,
because I was a cheerleader. That was one of our cheers. We was like, dribble it, pass it, make that.
Okay, what's on the docket for the sports corner?
Okay, I like your use of the word docket, period, because we got a rundown today. Okay, so the first thing we're going to be talking about is Rashee Rice, right? And let me show you guys a photo of him really quickly. So this has not been the season for him. If you are, if you are an NFL lover or you keep up with football or know anything about the Chiefs, then Rashee Rice was already in some type of legal troubles after I guess he was like speeding and then he hit somebody, and then that person they didn't die, but they had a lot of medical issues, right? So he was already on a suspension at the beginning of the season due to this, right? But now we have something else. And this has been circulating on the internet for a little bit of a few days. So the NFL has opened an investigation into the domestic violence allegations against Kansas City Chiefs wide receiver Rashee Rice after claims surfaced on social media. The league confirmed it is reviewing the matter under its personal conduct policy and is in communication with the Chiefs. If the allegations are substantiated, Rice could face additional discipline, including possible suspension of at least 6 games as a repeat offender. The allegations were shared by Rice's ex-girlfriend, Dakota Nicole Jones. At least I think that's how you say her name, but it sounds correct. Also, if you have a queasy stomach, yes, these are what the photos that she posted of the alleged abuse that she had received. So, like I mentioned, she posted these photos of bruises and injuries on Instagram, claiming she endured years of abuse by the father of her children. While she did not mention Rice directly, the circumstances point to him. As of now, no police report or lawsuit has been filed, which could limit the NFL's ability to fully investigate if the alleged victim does not cooperate. This development comes after Rice already served a 6-game suspension to the start of the 2025 season for a separate personal conduct violation tied to a 2024 street racing incident that resulted in multiple injuries. Rice previously pleaded guilty to felony charges related to that crash and received probation with deferred adjunctions. I think that's how you pronounce that, but whatever. So the point of the matter is, this has not been the season for him, clearly. And when I was reading it, hearing about NFL players and allegations of abuse never surprises me. And it's something about the Rice last name that automatically give me pause. Because if you know about anything that you know about, what's his name? Rice something. I forget his last name, but he was an abuser too, and then ended up creating a whole domestic violence camp, and his wife ended up forgiving him, whatever. Right? Rashee Rice, I think that's his name. Whatever. The point of the matter is, the thing that gave me pause was the fact that if he does, if the NFL investigates and they do find anything wrong with this, 6-game suspension is the main thing that's really going to happen. And I'm sure there's going to be some financial things that happen, like you got to pay a certain fine or whatever like that. But a fine and 6-game suspension, honestly, if I was an abuser, I would never stop either. Like, that light slap on the wrist, 6 games and a fine.
Yeah, I feel like the whole point of a punishment should be for you to learn your lesson. And you being suspended 6 games is like, the NFL check is hefty, honey. So 6 game to us, regular people, 9 to 5, may sound like a whole lot of money and a whole lot of repercussions. But for NFL players, it's like, girl, pennies. So I think if the league actually cared about making a difference, and you already see a track record that a lot of your players are abusers, like a lot of them do these things like this. So as a league, I would think, well, maybe I need to change something or do what I can, right? Because at the end of the day, there's only but so much you could do, right? It's like the same thing with parents, right? They raise you and hope for the best, but then it's like, you're gonna come out how you want to come out. But I think the league can definitely do more, put more barriers in place to force these players to maybe think twice before doing what they do, because 6 games is like Rebecca said, that's nothing.
Like, honestly, and this is why Shayla and I, usually when we talk about the NFL, we talk about, the point that the NFL, the NBA, y'all got abusers that do these type of stuff every single day and nothing happens. And it's important to note that these are allegations, and there's, as of right now, no lawsuit or anything has been filed. And she went to tell her story on social media or ever like that. But I just think reputation has a lot to do with it also. And if as a league you automatically have a reputation of players who are abusive and who are doing all these different type of things, when do you think that your punishment should actually equal that? Because what's his name, the one who was kneeling again, it's blanking in my mind.
Colin Kaepernick.
I'm like, if Colin Kaepernick has basically been exiled from the NFL for, you know, his political stance, that they like to call it, it was a political stance. I'm like, why do you deem that to be as more of a punishable offense over someone knocking the teeth out of somebody? Like, I don't understand, because if a boxer did that, his hands are registered weapons. If he did that, the repercussions for him are going to be completely different for an NFL player who is, like, mind you, he's a repeat offender if this comes out to be true.
Yeah, but to that point, it also, there is some sort of responsibility that falls under the fans and the people, because when the Colin Kaepernick situation happened, you know, I feel like the response from the people, from certain people that felt real offended with that, was so big and humongous that it pushed the league to act. And when it comes to, you know, abuse, I don't know, maybe it's that people are already like numb to it. It happens so many times, but as people, and that's why I say we need to not get numb to these things. I know it happens all the time, but like, if we just brush it off, oh, just another abuse, the league is just like, okay, it might be in the headlines for a week, but people are still supporting, still buying the jerseys. He's still making touchdowns and whatever. No one's, you know, you might talk about it for a day and then you keep pushing. It's like, no, if you want, unfortunately, that's how I feel like a lot of things happen. If you want actual change, these corporations only care about money and how their PR looks. So if, yeah, they're an abuser, but they're bringing in money and none of y'all are really talking about how he's bad for the league is going to be like, oh yeah, look, we did this. And everybody's going to be happy because the person is making touchdown or doing good for the team. And that's it. It sucks, but that's how.
No, I just also wanted to mention, like, earlier this week, I was talking, it was, what day did you send that to me? It was like, maybe I was talking about this on a Tuesday, right? And somebody asked me who my football teams are. And I was like, you know, the Giants. And I was like, and as of right now, like, I'm really about to, like, I feel like I have nothing left for the Chiefs, like, emotionally and connection wise. Like, yes, I like Chris Jones, but I'm not really checking for him for real. So, like, I would say, like, I don't really claim myself right now as like a diehard Chiefs fans as I used to be. And I was explaining, I was like, you know, it gets to a point, we kind of talked about this with like with celebrities or like athletes. It's like the moment that you make your personal life too accessible to me and I start seeing too much, I automatically am deterred from supporting you. And I feel like with the Chiefs, I've seen so many things, like in terms of like their personal lives, that impacts my love to
that
have
don't align with you.
Yeah, that don't align with me, and to like, it just gives me weird vibes. And I was just explaining to that, like, somebody, I was like saying, I was like, the Chiefs had just keep giving me like the ick with the weird stuff that they keep doing, that I can't sit here and say and claim them as a fan. Like, before, again, there was some like emotional residual, like, you know, connection there, but now I don't feel nothing. So I was explaining that, and then literally the next day, Shayla sends me this about the Rashee Rice. I said, and this is what I'm saying, y'all keep doing weird stuff. And again, these are allegations, but the fact that there's always an allegation tied to you, it gets to a point, like we were mentioning about Stefon Diggs, like it gets to a point where you guys sit there and start saying, like, what are you going to do better? Like, come on.
Exactly. So on the point of how are we going to get better, let's move on to the NFL and their firing spree.
Yes. So if you know, Rebecca is a football fan, and you know, I'm a Giants fan, right? But now that I dropped the Chiefs, I need to find a replacement. I do, because I believe you could have more, you could be a fan to more than one team. I do. If you don't believe that, talk to your mom. Don't talk to me. Right. So as the NFL playoffs get underway, major coaching changes are reshaping the league. The Miami Dolphins fired their head coach after 4 seasons, making the 8th head coach coaching dismissal of the 2025 season. Several teams, including the Ravens, Cardinals, Raiders, Browns, Falcons, Titans, and Giants, have also moved on from their coaches, meaning roughly a quarter of the league is now searching for new leadership, right? And let me just say this right now. The one that kind of shocked me the most was the Ravens, because one, he's been there for 18 years, right? And I watched the Ravens and the Steelers game, and when I say nail bite her, like, I mean, I was in my bed stressed, right? I was like, oh my God, like, okay. And it came down to, like, after the Steelers missed their field goal kick, I said, okay, we got this. We can make this. Then Lamar, he did, he threw the ball. Hopkins, I'm so sorry, you would have had to got a pink slip, because you standing there being stuck as stupid, yeah, blew mine. We could have gotten real close, whatever. That happened. Now we're down to a field goal kick. We could potentially win this thing. And for the field goal kicker to miss that kick, sick. I was sick. I couldn't believe it.
And the thing is, the field goal kickers are already at a disadvantage, because people look at them like, girl, you only come here to kick this ball. So I feel like their only way that, like, they get brownie points is, like, when you win us something, like, do something for us, for me to actually feel some type of way, like, oh yeah, you are important. And so there's so much at stake here. This is your one job. Kick this ball. And I know when I say kick this ball, it's like, it's not as easy as it seems, but, like, I'm over here getting hit every other play. Please, you better make this field goal kick.
And the fact that I think this is, like, he's a rookie, right? So I get it. It's like, in those big moments, like, you want to do everything right and everything like that. But the fact that they fired their head coach, I was like, it's not the coach's fault that he didn't kick the ball. And I just think sometimes we have these unfair expectations for coaches. Like, I know as a coach, you're expected to, like, get results. But at the end of the day, you can only get as much as results as your talent allows. Him not being able to kick the field goal kicker, not being able to kick the ball, that's not his fault. Like, it's not.
Yeah, but I feel like it was I don't think that the kick was the reason he got fired. There was definitely other things. And we've talked about the Ravens, Lamar. This was not his best season. Like, compared to the year prior, where it was like, okay, Lamar, he was in MVP talks and running and all the things. This year was not his best year. I think maybe he was injured. But there was definitely other things that went into
absolutely. There definitely was more things that went into it. Absolutely. But I think at the end of the day, we also need to realize, yes, Lamar was injured, and I don't know why they decided offensively to get away from the run game. I don't know why, because that was what made Lamar, like, different from all the different other quarterbacks, is the fact that, like, he is, like, he will run and he will get you those extra yardage. Like, he's going to do that. So it's like, I think maybe him being injured had something to do
that's
with
what I
it.
was gonna say. 1,000%. Because it's like, we already playing with fire because you are injured and we are putting you out in the field. So the last thing you want is to, like, make it even worse by every play having you run.
Yeah, for sure. The one that I'm going to mention before we move on to our last thing of the sports corner, the Giants are about to piss me smooth off. And when I say smooth off, I'm talking about fresh wax. Y'all about to piss me off real bad, right? So you already know we are looking for a head coach, right? So when you are going to make your head coach decision, why in your right mind? Let me start by saying this also. The Browns fired their coach. And if you know anything about the Browns, that's where Shayla and I's cousin Shador Sanders is at. It was already a very tumultuous season.
Karma got to that head coach real early,
right.
Honey.
And if you want to know his name is Kevin Stefanski. Stefanski, I think it is. Right. And so everybody was already coming at him because we're like, why are you treating Shador like this? Like, you are not treating him right. You're like, the way that you doing him, like, you making certain decisions that are going to impact your team. You're not getting the wins because of these decisions that you are making. You already see the league, the world has seen how you have treated Shador. The world has seen how you have impacted your team, not for the best, but for their demise. Correct? So why, in my Giants' rabbit mind, would they sit here and start doing interviews with him to be a potential head coach? Are y'all trying to piss me off?
Also, it's like, what have the Browns done for real to, like, be like, oh yeah, I need him?
And granted, let me not talk about this man's legacy of, like, he was, I believe, what was it?
But what has he done with the Browns?
Well, he was like he brought them to two different to two playoffs. Obviously, they didn't win.
I need
He won two
Super Bowl.
NFL Coach of the Years, like, you know, and it was in 2020 and 2023, and both of those years, I think they were like 11-5 or whatever like that. But like, to me, also, the Browns organization is a joke. The only thing respectable that y'all got is Shador Sanders, because y'all allowed
And that's
Sean
new.
Watson to be on the team. Like, anyway, but it's just like, why my Giants would think, you know what, ring, let's pick up the phone and call this coach who clearly allows his own emotions to get in the way of the betterment of the team, right?
Well, I think that's very on brand for the Giants, because we've already discussed that the issue is top down. You could bring all the amazing players, you could do all of that, but if the honchos are not right in the mind, then nothing's gonna happen. So
and I enjoy emotional abuse, clearly, because it's like, you know, I'm not gonna drop my Giants, because again, they do enough stuff in the football world, but I haven't heard anything yet personally, where I'm like, oh my God, I gotta drop y'all, right? But every day y'all make decisions that go against the team. And again, they just were doing interviews, and it was reported that they were doing interviews with him. So that does not mean that they are going to hire him. But the fact that y'all even put out a call to speak
considered
it is irritating my spirit, because it's just like, I don't care what he did in 2020 and 2023, respectfully, because what I saw from the 2025, 2026 season showed me enough. So why would you even pick up the phone and let it ring?
Yeah. And I think, just to wrap up this point, is like, being a coach is more than just creating plays. I think relationships matter a lot. And so, of course, we don't know what happens behind the scenes, but if like what we're hearing is like, I wouldn't want that. Like, the relationship he's been doing a lot of weird things, it seems, for us, the viewer. Why would you want to bring that to your franchise, especially to New York City, where, you know, all eyes are going to be on you at every sport? When you come to New York City, honey, trust and believe you better be on your P's and Q's, because you could be doing everything right and they're always going to find something wrong. So why off rip, you know that all of these PR things are not doing well, why even put yourself in that? But on that note, let's move over to our last sports corner topic, which is the NBA world. What happened? Major trade.
Yes. So we recently found out, if you know, Shayla and I love football, we love basketball, we love the WNBA, we love it.
I'm gonna decrease the love for the football for me. I watch football.
Yes, Shayla's going with me to a sports bar because I love football. Right. So the Atlanta Hawks have traded the long-time star Trae Young to the Washington Wizards. So like we mentioned, he has been with the Atlantic Hawks for a long time. And in a major deal on January 7th, they traded him for the veteran CJ McCollum and Corey Kispert, I think it is, ending Trae Young's era in Atlanta, giving him a fresh start and the nation's capital as a cornerstone for the Wizards' rebuild. The trade came after the Hawks struggled with Young in the lineup, playing better without him, and following failed extension talks with Washington being Young's preferred destination. So apparently he asks to go there.
Can we play a clip of him?
Yeah, I'm gonna show you that real quick. So you're gonna see, like, basically during one of the Atlantic Hawk games, like, this man's walking out because the trade was
the last game of him being in the Atlanta Hawks,
and he wasn't playing at that.
Hawks haven't done that since Thanksgiving. Trae Young exiting the arena.
Hawks on the desk, dribble the clock out here.
The only man in the hallway. This game comes to an end. And if this is indeed it, one of the most remarkable chapters in Hawks history will come to an end.
First of all, I felt like that was so dramatic. It's like, okay, child, I get it. You did dedicate a lot of years of your career to this franchise, but I just think the production of it all is very laughable. When I saw this, I was not surprised, because he had been the franchise player for a very long time. And I feel like, yes, during the beginning, they were winning games and they were making it to playoffs, and it was like real electric live. But at the end of the day, franchise franchises are trying to win NBA championships. And so if we're not getting to that point, then we need to make an exit. You need to go. And so I think the funny part of it all is I don't know if off rip he wanted to go to the Wizards, but if so, it's like nobody right now in 2026 just wants to go to the Wizards because, even the people that are, locals, they're like, oh, I love living here because we are the only state that can actually afford to go to NBA games on a budget, child, because that's how low the tickets are because the franchise is not doing much, right? Like, they are not a franchise that is ready to win NBA championships. So if he willingly said, oh, this is the only franchise that I want to go to, it very much gives, I'm just in the league to get a check right now because why? Or maybe other teams just didn't want to accept his big contract.
And my whole thing is, right, I was like saying when I saw this, I'm like, to Shayla's point, no one willingly wants to go to the Washington Wizards. If you're not an NBA person, basically it's like, if you're going to go to a team that does not matter and barely gets respect, then you go to the Washington Wizards. The Washington Wizards, I like to call the abyss, where players go to retire. Like, that's what it gives to me. They have not been a contention team in a while. I don't think since John Wall. Like, I don't even think then they were something.
I'm glad Jordan Poole got out of there for sure.
Yeah. Anyway, so when I saw this, like, I said it to Shayla, I said, I was not expecting this, like, at all. Like, because it's just so random. Like,
I was like, oh, this makes sense. When I saw it, I'm like, oh, this makes sense.
Nah, I don't.
But anyways.
But again, I think, like, I was having a conversation with somebody, and I was saying, like, the Washington Wizards, they do have a lot of young talent, players who can play. They're just not, I don't know. It's not being put to proper use for them to actually be a respectable team to me. So I'm like, if Trae Young goes there, there are a lot of young players, the fresh talent. They can do this rebuild. The Houston Rockets used to be like that, and now look at them. They're actually something of a respectable team now. So, like, if they are going to, make this a standpoint for their rebuild and they want to build around Trae Young and the young talent that is around, then great. I'd like to see what's going to happen. But I just thought it was just such, like, a random team for me. Like, if I could see him go to anything, I could see him going to the Suns because Devin Booker ain't doing much there. Like, their team really ain't doing much.
But my thinking is that I don't think the Wizards are taking him to, like, build a franchise off of him. I think they have a lot of young talent, and as, like, leadership, I'm focusing on my young talent. I think every team does need, like, a veteran, someone older that, he has been to playoffs. He has seen a lot of things. So maybe he's, like, an addition to help support what we're building. I don't think the franchise is going to switch to, move forward on his off his name or whatever, his skills. I don't think so.
Yeah. But sorry, I was just gonna say, if y'all have any opinions or anything like that, definitely let us know in the comments.
Yes. So if you made it this far, thank you guys so much for supporting, liking. Make sure you share this to all your friends. Leave a comment down below. For me, leave a money sign.
Money.
Prosperity. Yeah. Health, love, and money.
For me, leave like a sports thing, a basketball, football, soccer ball, any type of ball that falls in the realm of sports. Comment that below. And also, I just want to do a little quick call to action to all our new subscribers, because we are getting new subscribers slowly but surely. If you do make it to the end of this video, I want to know what video attracted y'all to us. Like, what video made you guys want to subscribe to us and, interact with our content? I want to know that. I think stuff like that is so interesting.
Yes. So yeah, make sure you follow us on all our social media platforms at toosmuchsb, and we will see you guys next Friday. Bye.